that's going on across the internet misapplying copyright laws and saying that people can't videotape the police in public, or that you can't stand in front of a McDonald's or in front of another franchise and talk about them. Enron, back when they were going down in Houston, with our reporters, but also with others, would say, you can't stand on the other side of the street and show our logo. It's copyright. They would have security guards come over to us. We've got video of this. Kevin Booth has it. We've played it many years ago. We probably find it. And they just say, you can't videotape here. This is our logo. And we're like, excuse us? The Federal Reserve. Aaron Dykes and Rob Jacobson wanted to get a faraway shot at about a half-mile away at the World War I Memorial in Kansas City of the Federal Reserve Bank there. And here come armed security guards saying, turn your camera off and get out of here. You're basically violating our rights by videotaping our building. We own that building. You can't videotape it. In fact, there have been federal cases where the NSA would tell people they couldn't sit a half-mile away and get a shot of Fort Meade. We've had our reporters in San Antonio told in a Walmart parking lot, as it was Jakari Jackson, that he couldn't videotape the new NSA facility, as if it was a security risk, as if anybody couldn't go show that. This is an attempt to tell us that there's no free speech. And it's a big deal. And if we stop making it a big deal when this type of stuff happens, then we're going to lose all of our basic freedoms. In fact, if you're a TV viewer, we're actually showing our footage of where they were shooting the World War I Memorial. The Federal Reserve is down the street, and the armed security guards, look at that, half-mile away, show up and say, give us your ID. And I've told the guys not to be confrontational, so they go ahead and give them their ID. And then they say, well, we're just going to tell you to go, we're going to arrest you. And they start putting their hands on their guns. So our guys just left and let them violate the First Amendment. Then when the Kansas City Star called up the Federal Reserve, they said it wasn't real and it never happened. And that, of course, there's a First Amendment. So this is the type of stuff that goes on. This is the type of stuff that happens. And if you don't get really upset about it and you don't take action, there's another article out today where they're in the news saying the FCC and Congress are going to have hearings on censoring the Drudge Report, and saying that his view on Obamacare or guns, that by linking the news articles, both pro and con, that it's political speech and that can be regulated as if it's campaign finance. So they can lock Matt Drudge up or Alex Jones up like they did Dinesh D'Souza. Dinesh D'Souza got 9 months in a group home minimum security facility for getting 5 friends to give donations to his friend running for Senate. Talk about having dirt under your fingernails and going to prison while the government burns down the country, while the criminals running it loot us 7 ways to Niagara Falls. I mean, this is crazy, crazy. And so there is a sustained attack going on. And why don't they want us to talk about, there it is, FCC commish. This is a massive power grab, government at its worst. Yeah, that's what's crazy, is even the FCC admits that what Obama's bringing forward as new FCC regulations is a massive power grab. So even the FCC head is against it, but the rest of the board, part of the board, is not. And then FCC will have to do what Congress says, which is the way it's supposed to work, but Congress is just so traitorous, it's crazy. Now, let me just finish up with this, and I'm going to give the number out and take your calls on this issue and a bunch of others. Are you worried about the state of the First Amendment? All over the country, they were arresting people for filming police. Now they're passing laws saying you can't put security cameras on your own property, that it's wiretapping, while the government and Google and everybody else surveil everything we're doing illegally in many cases. They're saying we can't use these technologies to protect ourselves. The system is scared to death of their own big brother system. And it's not a monolith. Most people in the government are aware of what's happening and don't like it. But it doesn't matter, because the people running it at the top are bad news. But we need to separate the bad guys at the top from the rank and file in government because they want us all fighting with each other. There's another headline. Dems on FCC move to regulate internet campaigns, blogs, Drudge. See more articles on that. That's from 2014. There's a new one out today because now they're having the hearings. And they're mentioning Drudge Report by name. People go, well, I don't care. You know, that guy's got a big website. I don't care. They take him down. I love this grassroots idea that if somebody else gets in trouble, it makes the world better for you. If they can shut down talk radio, and if they can shut down the Drudge Report, they can shut everything down. They always go after the biggest dogs. I got a lot of problems with Rush Limbaugh. And I'm in direct competition with Rush Limbaugh, but when they were getting rid of his sponsors, I saw an opportunity to support the First Amendment and get advertising for about half off, and we made money running Obama deception ads on Drudge. We spent, what was it, $180,000, $200,000 running Obama deception ads on the Rush Limbaugh show. And the weird thing was, Clear Channel called us up, a premier that syndicates it, and said, we'll let you run these ads, but we're afraid of campaign finance stuff because it's against Obama, as if it's campaign finance to put a movie out showing how Obama's a big liar and a globalist. And so we had to announce that it was funded by Alex Jones at Infowars.com, which I didn't even try to put my name in the ad because I think that's kind of creepy to go on somebody else's show and advertise yourself. So I was like, oh, throw me in that briar patch. Say it's Alex Jones and Infowars.com. Thank you so much. Absolutely. But see, my instinct is a winner instinct. When they're trying, and they came close to getting Rush Limbaugh canceled, like they did Dr. Laura Schlesinger. They came very close, folks, and a lot of people piled on. It was my idea. Other people piled on. I said, hey, you can buy advertising for less right now. I think it's overpriced most of the time. I'll be quite frank on Limbaugh. And I said, right now you can get it for half off. That's not currently. Now it's expensive as it ever was. And I said, everybody needs to pile on and buy up his advertising. That happened. His show sold out. They couldn't sell about 60% of the inventory, I was told at the time, when they were boycotting him. So I just came out in the idea and I said, everybody should just spend money with Rush Limbaugh. Now, I wonder if they're ever trying to bring us down, and I put out an SOS. Anybody come to my aid? Because here's the thing. If they can bring us down, ladies and gentlemen, they can bring you down. That's common sense. We hang together, we hang separate. If they were trying to shut down some liberal publication for garbage reasons, if they had arrested Michael Moore for giving $50,000 in bundling, just like they charged Ken Lay with it, and he finally got off because it wasn't illegal. D'Souza didn't want to fight it for a decade and spend $4 million plus like Ken Lay did. Not Ken Lay. It's not Ken Lay was horrible and ran off with Enron. Who's the guy that was the Republican leader out of Texas? I'm having one of those moments today. Who's a congressman, and they persecuted the living daylights out of him, and then he was found not guilty. Is it Tom DeLay? Tom DeLay. Yeah, okay, that's why I said Ken Lay. I don't have teleprompters here, ladies and gentlemen. It's just my memory. And sometimes the easiest names to remember are the hardest, as everybody knows. Now, I've spent a lot of time on this. I want to take your calls on First Amendment attacks. Where do you think the First Amendment and free speech is going? What are you doing to defend it? 800-259-9231. 800-259-9231. The Observer, Drudge Report's linked to this today, out of England, has done a report, and I'm in there about how mega viral Infowars is and how we reach millions every day. I mean, every day there's news articles about how viral we are consistently and how we can now more and more set news agenda and force things out there to be debated. The system does not like that. That's why they want to shut down talk radio. That's why they want to shut down the Drudge Report. That's why they want to shut down Infowars. That's why they want to shut down WorldNet Daily. They've been behind the scenes, and Joseph Farah doesn't really want me to talk about it, but harassing the living daylights out of them. You need to understand we're under attack. And that means you're under attack. And how you fight back against that is you realize we're winning. That's why we're under attack, ladies and gentlemen, because we're cleaning the globalist clocks right now. We don't work for special interests. Our special interest is the American people. Our special interest is what's honorable. Our special interest is when men were men and women were women and cars were fast. God, guts, and guns. John Wayne. John Wayne and Ronald Reagan. It doesn't mean Ronald Reagan was perfect. It means what Ronald Reagan said, I absolutely agree with. The symbol, the idea is good. Just like the founders had some great ideas. Doesn't mean they ever realized 1/10 of it. Everybody wants to criticize Rand Paul because he's been political a little bit and moved a little